The summer before senior year demanded a sacrifice. Sleep. College was a looming promise, and my savings resembled a fading dream. I took the night shift at McDonald's, trading Z's for dollars in a fluorescent-lit purgatory. The manager, a ghost of a man with haunted eyes, led me to the drive-through booth. He spoke in whispers, handing me a phone filled with faces labeled missing and a palm-sized sheet of typed rules.
"I know it sounds insane," he rasped, "but follow these and you'll make it through a night. You don't." He swallowed hard, the unspoken threat hanging thick in the humid air. "You don't get to go home." I laughed, but his trembling hands and the faces on his phone made me pocket the list like contraband. Practical skepticism warred with a growing unease. The booth became a character. Cracked laminate, a wheezing fan, the persistent scent of old grease. I learned the night's cadence, a distant hum, a speaker hiss, the lonely highway. For the first hour, everything was ordinary. I toggled the cameras, half reading code on my laptop, half watching the lot for bored teenagers and late taxis. Then, through the glass and under a hedge, I saw her on the monitor. A child no more than 5, face pale as milk, eye sockets empty and dark. She stood perfectly still, looking directly at the camera. The sight had the wrong geometry, too composed, too intent. It felt like a photograph made of bad film. Rule 5 closed around me like a glove. Turn off the lights. Hide under the counter. The booth went black, except for the ring of the cameras. I folded my hands into myself and counted breaths. Something hit the wall beside the boothard, a dead thud like wood meeting bone. Then a flurry of steps, the thin, high pitch of a child's cry that shredded the quiet into small pieces. I pressed my palms to my ears because the sound was too big for the space. My stomach folded over itself. Bile rose, and I vomited onto the tile. The crying cut out as abruptly as it had started, replaced by a low, wet growl. And the sound of something else tearing, like meat being ripped at a butcher's table. I hadn't moved. When the noise finally subsided and I dared to switch the lights back on, my mouth tasted metallic. But I couldn't tell if it was rust, old sauce, or something worse. I cleaned what I could, too shaky to stay in the booth much longer. Voices came next, the kind of overlapping laughter that sounds like a radio with dead frequencies. It seemed to come from the dining area, where the doors were locked for the night. I stood and walked toward the interior door, stupidly thinking about checking, until the sheet in my pocket told me Rule 6, don't go, it's a distraction. So I put on headphones and pretended the world was ordinary. I opened my textbooks. I read a line twice, thrice, until the lights on the dashboard of the booth felt like a halo around a sleeping animal. An hour later, a black Range Rover rolled into the lane, tinted so dark it swallowed the world. Engine idling, a silhouette behind the wheel. The man screamed his order into the speaker, and then screamed at me words that were mostly curses and something like homework.
I said nothing. He cursed at the glass until the thing finally drove away, tail lights blinking like an apology. The manager's warning had been precise. Don't speak to him. If you talk back, he comes through. Shift ended in a way that had the antiseptic flackness of an exam finished early. I sat typing the log, counting the night's cash in a little plastic drawer, thinking about college applications and whether $200 a night was worth the shape my skeleton would take. The manager called while I was packing, voice soft, grateful. "You did good." He offered to double my pay if I'd stay on for a week. He sounded like a man on his knees. I almost said yes out of guilt, out of the naive hope money could prop open fear. Then I looked up at the monitors one last time, because the little girl had been the only thing that felt truly predatory tonight, and I needed to be sure she was gone. On the screen, the booth sat empty, but for one small thing, a pale hand pressed flat to the inside of the service window where I'd been sitting. Fingers spread and ridged with the condensation of breath. No face above it, just a shadow, a small shoulder. Then the camera jiggered, and the image went black for a second, like a blink. A laugh came through the speaker, then soft, like someone playing with a toy. It wasn't the man's voice or the manager's, but something younger and wet at the edges. Tightened the back of my neck with cold. I signed the log and shoved the cash drawer into my backpack. I left the booth light on. Rule 1 was stubborn in my hands. Now I'm home, the room oddly bright around my laptop, the college brochure open and a small wad of bills on the desk. I should be relieved I made it through. The manager texted, "Good work. Call me if you want the double." I keep glancing at the notification bar.